All right, so just back in the saddle here, continuing to push our way. Oh, look at that. Geez, that bike ride lasted pretty long. So I didn't even notice, so there was the culvert there. And so what we have, I always like seeing these things, they look kind of neat, just kind of sitting all lonesome by themselves here. So we have the original segmented, not maybe original, but the previous segmented concrete culverts kind of ditched here beside the grade. So you can see that there's 4 of them. Again, kind of you know, it's kind of almost like a sort of a creepy thing, right? Like, you know, they're you know, kind of these it's almost like a little bit of a cemetery. Makes me kind of feel like to see these culverts here. So we'll jump back up on the grade and continue pushing our way south. I think the bridge is just up there, just at the end of this straight section here. All right, so if I'm correct here, again, the end of our hike is just up ahead. Trying to keep my eyes open for any other interesting things here along the grade. And this is one massive beaver dam. Well, there's the end of it. Yeah, so there's a pretty good flooded area here as a result of that dam. And railways always have a big issue with beavers building dams and potentially flooding the tracks and causing derailments and things like that. So the bridge is right up here. Again, just trying to keep my eyes open if there's anything kicking around before we get to the bridge. Kind of coming up onto this high embankment here. So this is the Stillwater Creek. The bridge, which we're going to take a look at in a second here, isn't a particularly big one. And then you can actually see here, before we jump across the bridge, you can actually see the Canadian Pacific line, and they're going to come right together, just right up, just a short distance away. The two lines are going to come together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work our way across the bridge and then try to take a look at the sides and the bottom and such. All right, so we'll carefully make our way across the bridge. A few of these ties are kind of in rough shape. Again, this is probably people driving recreational vehicles over there that have kind of softened it up. We're going to tread very carefully. And so you can see the Canadian Pacific line, and there's a maintenance crew. They're high railing it across. Oh, there's maybe they're doing a little maintenance work. Sunday, I noticed on the Canadian Pacific, Sunday seems to be Sunday seem to be maintenance day. Not very many trains kind of running Sunday mornings. We'll just stop here and pause here for a second. Not a big fan of the screech. All right, so we'll just walk up here. We'll go take a look at the sign here, and then we'll come around and actually we'll go take a look at the bridge first, and then we'll come back to the sign. Okay, so we're down here below the level of the grade on the northeast corner. You can see Stillwater Creek here flowing to the east and then emptying into the Nipigon River. And so here you can see the structure. Basically a single girder span bridge. Okay, not particularly big. We're going to work our way over here. I don't see any date stamp on the structure here. We can see some of the could potentially be piles from maybe an original structure. You can see some of the, I don't know if this was from the original structure. Basically you can see kind of some of the cribbing here to basically hold this section back. Oh, we do have a date. We do have a date. 1921. Wow. So this is an old structure. This is like early Canadian national days. So that's really neat to see that. Usually it's right up here on the top part of the abutment, but anyway, neat to see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump across to the southeast corner and take a look from over there. All right, so we're going to make our way down here. We're on the southeast corner and carefully tread our way down to the level of the creek. You can see it's not a particularly high bridge. I'm trying to see if there's any date marking on here, but I don't see anything. You can see it's just one of these single girder spans. You can see some of the piles, and I'm imagining that was from the original structure. It's probably only, I would say, maybe 15 feet above the water or so. It's not a particularly big structure. You can see for the most part the timbers are in pretty decent shape, except for the couple that we saw there at the beginning. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump back up on the grade here, and then just kind of take a look at the grade pushing south there, and we'll be done for today. Okay, so we're just south of the bridge here, and as I promised, we're just going to go take a look at this. This is likely the flanger sign here. I have to turn this way, otherwise you're just going to get a whole bunch of glare. So that is indeed the flanger sign. And so the grade here continues working its way to the south. I don't know if you can see on the camera here, but basically this is where the CN line, formerly the Canadian Northern line, and the Canadian Pacific line would have kind of come together, and then they parallel each other for several kilometers right along the shore of the lake, hugging those big cliffs. So we're going to come back as soon as we can, and we're going to be taking a look at this section here, and it's going to be very interesting. Right beside that Canadian Pacific line, a couple remnants here, so you can see the tie plate and the rail anchor. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed today's adventure, and then the previous day's adventure, and we'll be back just as soon as we can with more explorations.